It's time to get educated on your Second Amendment rights. Welcome to 2 full hours of Gun Owners Radio. Your hosts, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz will teach you about firearms, self-defense, and the laws that affect your rights to keep and bear arms. Visit gunownersradio.com with questions to learn how to become a sponsor of Gun Owners Radio and get involved. Together, we will win. Now here's your hosts, Dave Stahl, Joe Germisi, and Michael Schwartz on The Answer San Diego.
All right, folks, welcome to Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, if you have legal matters that involve firearms, then you need to call our attorney, John Dillon. Especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you just need to know that your guns are California compliant. Call our trusted firearms attorney, John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws, 760-642-7150, or you can visit his website at dillonlawgp.com.
You can call John yours. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, Dave.
I think
right?
I shouldn't I? Yeah.
He's all of ours.
He is. He's such a cool dude, too. And he's not your typical lawyer. I mean, he's like talking to a family.
He is, yeah.
That's what I like about him.
I like him, too.
So how you guys
Jackson,
doing?
How's it going, man?
Hey, Action Jackson, what's with the Z in your hair?
Well, actually, it's a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Are you a Charger fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
Why is your mother twisting her neck so bad she's going to end up with a headache?
Yeah, Mom says they're not a Charger fan.
Mom must be a Bronco fan. No. What? Redskins. Oh, can't say Redskins anymore.
Yeah.
The
Washington
football team.
Football team.
No. Aren't they the Generals?
No, they voted against it and go back to football team again.
Oh, they're back to Washington football team.
I know, it's so dumb.
It's clearly not helping their playing.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, I think it looks cool, Jackson.
I do too. I'm going to do it.
Bolt.
Maybe I'll do it in my beard. What do you think? Nice big Z.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think of my beard? You going to get one? You'll have to start like
Maybe, but I definitely want a mustache.
You do want a mustache?
go.
You know, you'd look good with a mustache.
Oddly, a beard and a mustache would make you look older, and it makes Dave look younger.
I know.
You guys will like meet in the
Well,
middle.
look at. You want to do like what Mike's done?
This
You
is-
like his?
You know what this is called? It's actually called it's called a Van Dyke. Did you know that?
It is not. It's a goatee.
It's a
No,
goatee.
no.
Yes.
If there was no mustache, it'd be a goatee. But with the mustache connecting, it's actually called a Van Dyke.
Is it really?
Yes, sir.
See, you learn something new every day.
Learn
folks.
something new
You thought
every
it was
day.
all ammo related.
So, Action Jackson,
Sure do.
you should fire up a Van Dyke. I think that'd look good on you, buddy.
No. Go with the goatee. But you just want a mustache, right?
That's my main one.
And that would be called an Action Jackson.
Yeah.
You might as well come up with your own name, right? I was talking about you this weekend.
Oh?
I was traveling with the car manufacturers, Toyota and Kia, and you came up both times.
Yeah,
Because I'm from California, and everybody wanted to know about gun laws and all that. Talk more about guns than I do about cars.
yeah. Well, they're more interesting.
Yeah, and when I told them about you, 8 years old, shooting a 50 caliber off your hip, I mean, they were shocked.
What do you think about that? You should parlay that into a free car, man. You're almost 16, right?
Yeah, but we got to put little 4x4s on the bottom of his feet so he can touch the pedals.
Like in Indiana
Well, I mean,
Jones.
technically, I'm almost 9.
Oh, well,
There you go.
you're halfway there.
I don't see
we
why
can
you
make
don't
it
have
a
a car right
2x4.
now. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. So what do we got planned for the show today?
All right,
my
a couple
friend?
things real quick. So fees and insurance on your rights up in San Jose. Everybody, hopefully you're aware of that. The city of San Jose has they're going to force you to get insurance if you're a gun owner. They're going to force you to pay $25. It's basically a tax that they're going to turn over to some anti-gun groups to teach gun safety or some kind of nonsense. We have, if you're a member of San Diego County Gun, there's a big announcement. We have like a big announcement music, like a drum roll. Great. Okay, so if you're a member of San Diego County Gun Owners, I shouldn't surprise them like that. I'm sorry, Brandon. So if you're a member of San Diego County Gun Owners, if you're a member of Orange County Gun Owners, if you're a member of Inland Empire, you are now a plaintiff on a lawsuit. The state of California voted into law that they're going to share personal information from all gun owners and make it public. Basically, they're going to turn it over to colleges so they can study gun violence, and it's really a huge violation of your privacy. So we partnered with Firearms Policy Coalition. Firearms Policy Coalition is an awesome organization. They've been extremely supportive. If you're not a member, if you haven't donated to them, please do. Obviously, if you're not a member of San Diego, Orange, or Inland Empire, become a member, because then you will be a plaintiff on this lawsuit against this law. So it's going to be in state court. The NRA-ILA is suing them in federal court. We're suing them in state court. We're attacking them from all angles. This is a perfect example of how you can get involved. This is a perfect example of how different organizations work together for a common goal. And this helps us, be even more effective. Obviously, our focus is on getting the right people elected. But, when all else fails, we got to be able to sue the pants off of people. So that's what we're doing. So if you want to remove some politicians' pants with us, join and become a member. And then remember my interview with John Hemmerling?
You got a ticket, didn't you?
He
pulled you over and gave you a ticket.
No, I didn't get a ticket. But amazingly, the Republican Party is still considering endorsing him to be their candidate for sheriff.
Well, but whoever said the Republican Party was for Second Amendment rights?
The Republican Party always tells me they're for Second Amendment rights. So all hope is not lost. Don't attack the Republican Party yet. But there's a lot of local leaders who are. So there's this thing called the Central Committee, the Republican Central Committee. And it's everyday folks who get elected to lead the party. And they make the decisions and they help grow the party. The Democrats have it. The Republicans have it. It's called different Central Committee. And there are a lot of leaders on the Central Committee who are saying, no way, I don't care what it takes. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have an anti-gun sheriff as our candidate. But there are enough leaders who think it's an okay idea that it's still a possibility. So I don't know what's going to happen, but they're going to vote in the next couple of weeks to see if they want this guy to be their candidate.
Is that where Rhino comes in?
Well, it could be.
I mean,
here's the scary part. This guy, Hemmerling, is obviously anti-gun. Everybody heard the interview. Mm-hmm. He just became a Republican 2 months ago.
What was he before?
He was not declared. So he wasn't even a Republican up until December. He hasn't done anything to help the party, hasn't done anything to get anybody elected, hasn't done anything to support candidates. San Diego County Gun Owners has been an amazing partner in many ways without compromising our values. Where we agree with the Republican Party, we help. We've gotten a lot of Republicans endorsed and elected, and we've spent resources on. We've been a great partner. And there are some people in the leadership, in the Republican leadership, that will throw that partnership all away just so they can say they have a guy in the race, even though the guy in the race they don't necessarily agree with.
But didn't he seem shocked when you questioned his because you seemed to me like when you said, well, you can't be behind that.
Tyrants are always shocked when you question them, and that's.
But I mean, he just seems surprised, like, what? Why are you? Why?
Well, he's in an office with some extremist, Democrat, anti-gun folks. Okay. He's surrounded. He's in a bubble, and I'm sure he goes to the office and they say, "Hey, he says, hey, we took another 10 guns away from people." Yeah. And they slap him on the back and say, "That's fantastic."
Well, then why did he just go be a Democrat?
No, it's a good question. Because my theory is that there was nobody running as a Republican, so he saw an opportunity.
I thought he'd have I was going to say he'd send him an application.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, there are two Democrat candidates running.
Oh, okay, that's why.
And one of them is against gun violence restraining orders. I spoke to him today, this weekend about it. And the other one is kind of neutral. They're like, hey, I think that everything's, that should be, if they're going to be used, they should be used responsibly. But, we don't really need them to take guns away from criminals. They just kind of came along. And so
they're waiting for the wind to blow.
Well, they're just kind of going, I don't know. But he has been a zealot when it comes to. So the Republican in the race has been a zealot when it comes to a gun grabbing, anti-gun policy. It's really, you can't go by party anymore, folks. You got to go by principle.
And with our luck, he'll probably get it.
$65,000 for a gremlin?
Yep. Yeehaw. Yeah. Hey, folks, this is Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer. What's it like having a gun shop in the middle of Beverly Hills?
Geez, I bet it's pretty fancy, but we'll find out shortly. Self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and there's no guarantee that the justice system will be on your side. Make sure you are protected for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. Listeners, get a free T-shirt when you use the code GunOwnersRadio. Sign up today. Go to uslawshield.com.
Nice. Okay, if you go to BeverlyHillsGuns.com, you will see the one and only gun shop in all of Beverly Hills, and it's a relatively new shop, so we thought we'd have the owner come on and talk a little bit about it. Russell, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, busy as heck, brother. Busy as heck.
I'll bet. Has it been, first off, how long have you guys been in business?
We opened in July 2020.
July 2020. July 2020, is that? That's
about a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and a half.
That's like right after COVID hit, right?
Yeah, it was just after COVID hit, just like right in that, the heat of the civil unrest that happened last summer, and we've been packed ever since we opened up our doors.
So I got to ask, are all your guns got rhinestones?
We've done a few blinged out guns. We did a Desert Eagle dipped in 24 karat gold, and but I mean, most of our customers, still want the plain Jane, badass stuff.
So you're not only a gun store, you're also you're a gunsmith.
No, not personally. I mean, I do some.
Well, not you, but I mean your store.
And stuff like that. But no, we don't do any gunsmithing. We send it out to most of our local partners.
Gotcha.
So what was the catalyst? What made you open up a gun shop? Was it related to everything that was going on with COVID, or what were you doing before you had a gun shop in Beverly Hills?
Well, I own a private security firm called Force Protection Agency, and we were very busy with a lot of celebrity clients, corporate CEO clients, and right when the pandemic hit, people were starting to talk about, well, how are we going to get firearms, especially with the shortages and, super long lines and, of course, a lack of stores. And although I've wanted to be in the firearms business for a very long time, that was kind of the catalyst that really pushed me to, seek, applying for the FFL and then finding a location. I've lived in Beverly Hills for passing 15 years now, and never really truly thought that I could ever do it in the city. But once I started to go down that path, I realized that there was an opportunity, found a location where the building owner was very positive about starting that business there. And it was really my clients that kind of pushed me into it. And then once we launched, and a small group of my clients that kind of put the word out, it just exploded from there.
Now, why didn't you think you'd be able to open it in Beverly Hills? You said you didn't think you'd be able to do it in the city there, but what was the hesitation?
Well, because traditionally, I mean, the city of Los Angeles has been shutting down gun stores and ranges for about 20 plus years. So I actually had approached a location in the city of Los Angeles first, was told there's no way that we're going to issue a new license. I then approached an unincorporated unincorporated area of Los Angeles County, and the county said there's no way that they were going to do a new license. So I really, I didn't even think about my own backyard, just because I truly never even thought that it'd be even possible. And then when I approached the PD, which is who issues a regulatory permit for a firearms store, they were actually incredibly excited.
Wow.
And I just truly, I just never even thought of it.
Usually it's the city council. Usually it's you got to go through City Hall, but you had to go through the PD. So you think that helped? I mean, was the city council helpful or discouraging, or just kind of neither? It just kind of went through.
Well, how the city of Beverly Hills' bylaws work for firearms businesses, it is done through the PD. And I think that was the saving grace, because as of now, if I started today and the rules were a city council approval, it would have never happened.
That's interesting.
And I don't know whether going forward, perhaps the city might change their rules to make it city council approval to start a new store. but it was truly through the PD. And when I approached them, and they were like, a gun shop, in our town that we can go to as well, and you guys can supply us. Fantastic. They signed off, and it was a pretty easy process.
Not
shockingly.
in a million years would I ever believe somebody tell me I'm going to open up a gun store in Beverly Hills.
Well, but now that he says it, it's kind of obvious, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Because I agree with you.
But when you first hear it, it's like, yeah, right.
But then he said it, and I'm thinking, well, gosh, there had to have been. Because there's a lot of really wealthy people. And
they got a lot of wealthy stuff.
And they got a lot of wealthy stuff. Yeah, they got stuff that wealthy people have.
Yeah.
And, they have hobbies that only wealthy people can do. Because, shooting's not exactly the cheapest in the world. So, but it seems so obvious now that he says it. But so
that's amazing.
Were you worried about? First off, let's back up. What do you think that the county and city of LA and some of these other cities, that by not allowing gun shops, is that having a positive effect on crime? That's the right answer.
Yeah,
that's the right answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, ridiculous. Our new woke superhero, George Gascon, is basically the biggest marketing partner that I could have ever had. He sells the guns for me. We're just in this unprecedented time where we're shutting down people's ability to protect themselves while we're giving every criminal in the county every free pass that they can have. And I'm just so grateful to Beverly Hills PD and to my customer base and to everyone that supported our shop, because honestly, we're terrified. The city of Beverly Hills, so many residents come into my store absolutely terrified. Most people aren't just looking for another gun. They're looking for their first gun.
Wow.
And so many clients lately are 60, 65, 70 years old saying, I've never thought about gun ownership. I've never even dreamed about having a gun. In fact, I've hated guns my entire life. Now I need a gun because of what's going on outside.
Well, there's no social science, there's no criminal science behind the idea that fewer gun shops and fewer gun dealers equals, less crime. So this has nothing to do with being effective. This is entirely, what do they call it? Virtue signaling, right? Doesn't that feel like, we're going to shut down gun shops? It's just virtue signaling. It has absolutely nothing to do with real science or keeping people safe.
Well, absolutely. There's truly no science behind it. And when you start talking about feelings, and emotions, when, just kind of your woke statements, now my customer base are actually talking about their true feelings, which are, we're terrified.
Yeah.
And now that these people that they voted for are now destroying our cities, and our counties, people are rushing to buy the things that they've always demonized because now they know that's the only true thing that's going to protect them.
So your DA was a big sales guy. He helped you sell guns. What about your sheriff? Now that you can get CCWs in LA County, has that been a driving force too?
For sales, absolutely. The only one thing that I can say, and I definitely support our sheriff. I've met him several times. I've been to several of his fundraisers. I do believe, though, that the program was a little, skewed because unlike Ventura County, Orange County, San Diego County, Ventura County, and Riverside County, that all use a website company called Permidium.com to submit their applications online. Our sheriff chose to go the paper route.
Yeah.
And now that he's in the tens of thousands of applications,
I know.
Now that 3-month process has turned into a 12-month process.
Don't worry.
And
he's okay. So there's a lot of good news coming. First off, if anybody's interested in the process, there's actually, we put up a website, lacountygunowners.com. If you want to drive people there, and it kind of walks them through the paperwork, because it is different than Permidium. Permidium's an excellent product, and you're right, they use it all over Southern California. But the other thing is, LA County is they were at a symposium last year that we helped sponsor. I have a feeling you're going to see them sign on with Permidium very soon. The sheriff, we've interviewed him. He's definitely interested in the success of the program. But San Diego, we didn't have Permidium right off the bat either. San Diego County gun owners actually helped introduce Primidium to the San Diego Sheriff's Department. They implemented it. It was kind of we had to take 2 steps back, but in order to move forward. But once they got it rolling, it goes really, really well. So I agree. It's too bad. They could have gotten it right off the bat, but at least they're issuing, right? That's pretty exciting.
Oh, 100%. And definitely, I would say more than 50% of our clients are coming in purely to either get a CCW-sized firearm or to ask for some kind of assistance in filling out the CCW application. So
That's
definitely
awesome.
The Sheriff's Program has been a big success for, just for our customers in general and just for the entire population of Los Angeles County.
So Beverly Hills isn't, it's a very wealthy community, but it's not a huge city, right? It's not.
Oh, no, it's not very big at all. No.
Yeah, it's not very big at all. Not a huge by population. I'm assuming that you must be drawing people from all over LA County.
Absolutely. We have people even coming down from Ventura County. We've had people come up from Orange County. And obviously, because of our geographical location and lack of gun stores on the west side of Los Angeles, we have people coming from Malibu, Santa Monica, Brentwood, Bel Air, Hollywood Hills, over, up in the valley, for people that are just looking for more of that personalized experience. The one thing that we pride ourselves on is giving people more personal attention. We're not really a store per se; it's more of a service. So when people are used to going to more of your box gun stores, and it's very impersonal, and you just people aren't really there to take care of you personally. That's a big difference.
Well, Brentwood in particular, I got to tell you, if you're in Brentwood, especially if you're a woman or a waiter, you better get a gun because it's a dangerous community for you.
Come on, Russell. It's a boutique.
It's a boutique.
It is.
It is, right?
All right.
And
he has lattes, too.
Yeah. He's sticking with us. We're going to talk to him on this.
All right. Yeah, don't go anywhere, folks. We got more coming out of Russell. Hey, selling your home can really feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be that way. All you need to do is hook up with Scott Vincent from Coldwell Banker Royal Realty. Scott Vincent is the perfect guide to help you sell or buy your home. Scott has also been a second San Diego County gun owner board member from the start. So if you're moving, let fellow Second Amendment supporter and real estate broker Scott Vincent help you sell your home and find your new home anywhere in the United States. Call him today at 619-948-2459. Tell him you heard it right here on Gun Owners Radio. That's Scott at 619-948-2459 or online at scottvincent.com. That's Vinson. All right, back with Russel Stuart from Beverly Hills Guns.
So what, tell us about your clientele. There's probably some folks that you don't, without, I don't know if you can name.
Have you got any movie stars coming in? That's what you want to hear.
If you can't name names, that's fine. But tell us a little bit about the clientele. What types of folks are coming in?
Well, obviously, we've had quite a few celebrities and real estate moguls and film producers and finance people. Which is pretty much just the demographics of the city. But we've also had a lot of just normal folks that because obviously in the city of Beverly Hills, not everyone's famous and super wealthy, but I think this is probably the most surprising stat of the last 3 to 6 months has been people over 70 and people under 25. There's just been a very, very large influx of very young gun owners who have typically grown up in this more, woke kind of liberal, city and mindset, who are now kind of going, hey, maybe I've played Call of Duty, but I've never really thought about owning a gun myself. So we've been having a lot of young 21-year-old and 22-year-old people, especially women, especially girls. We've had a lot of young girls who have come in saying, I just got my first apartment or I'm going to college, and these shootings and these watch robberies, these follow home invasions scare the crap out of me, and I need to get a gun. And, which has been great for me just because I've been able to, try and help people kind of get into the gun community who, would have never felt comfortable going into a large store where they just be kind of treated like a number, and I've been able to kind of take the time to sit down with these people, especially the young ones. And of course, I mean, seeing a 75-year-old woman coming in after Miss Jacqueline Avant got murdered in her home in Beverly Hills a few months ago, having a 75-year-old woman come into my shop terrified,
afraid
literally
for her
saying
life.
the cops can't, afraid for her life, saying that the cops can't help me, and even if they arrest the guy, he's going to be back out on the street in 5 minutes because of our woke freaking DA.
Right.
I need a gun. And to see the fear in some grandmother's eyes coming into my shop for the first time, it's gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
And that's where, I'm not just a shop. I mean, sometimes I'm almost like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Because I have this like one-on-one experience with the customer who can come in, and we're not just trying to sell them guns. We're trying to get them the solutions to how they're feeling.
So, Russell, let me ask you this. What is the percentage of them that accept training after the purchase of the gun?
Oh, I mean, 99%.
Oh, okay.
Now that being said, how many of them actually follow through with picking up that phone and booking that training? I mean, we're just a small boutique shop, so we don't have a range.
Right.
Although I've been going down that road to try and open a live fire range in the city of Beverly Hills. That particular business needs city council approval, and that has been met with a absolute brick wall. I was just at SHOT Show last week.
Yeah.
I was looking at some more of like the digital shooting solutions that are out there to try and maybe build something of that nature, just so people can learn the fundamentals, without needing to actually go out to, a big range. But training is crucial. I mean, we talk about it as much as we can. We try and do as much of the rudimentary stuff in the shop. But obviously, without that training and without that will to go out and train, we're going to have a public safety emergency. And that is what I have tried to push to the city council and say, look, wokeism has created people to buy these guns, but wokeism cannot stand in the way of keeping them safe by training.
Now, have you had any pushback from the public? Have you had any group of people protest or anything like that, or has it all been fairly positive?
I got to tell you one thing. It has been shockingly positive.
Good.
Back when I first went down this road, even my wife said to me, we're going to get hate. We're going to have, people alienate, totally alienate us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get invited to things because we're going to be the gun family. And that definitely crossed my mind too. I can tell you right now, it was the complete opposite.
That's awesome.
I mean, we had people coming out of the woodwork who literally just said, thank you so much, because now we actually have a place where we can be ourselves.
That's
I literally
awesome.
had people
That is.
stop into the shop just to talk.
Yeah.
Just to simply say, I can feel comfortable because I can't talk about guns with my neighbor or my business colleagues. Because as soon as I say the word gun, then I'm a Trump-loving alt-right, da-da-da-da-da-da. But I can come into this shop and I can be myself. And
Doesn't this make you want to drive up there and go look at this place?
I am going to drive up there and go look at that place. I'll tell you. Seriously, you and I are going to.
Yeah, but you
we got to
can't
sit
go
down
in
and
the
talk.
Jeep. That thing gets terrible fuel miles.
Well,
We'll take something fun.
No, I've done it before. I've driven that Jeep to Vegas and back. Hey, so the Russell, have you run into anybody who, somebody that's famous and maybe they're famously
Alec Baldwin.
anti-gun? No, not Alec Baldwin. So they're famously anti-gun, but they come and they buy from you?
Yes. In fact, I actually had one gentleman
Hypocrite.
who I literally said to him, I said, you have no idea what it would mean, not just to the gun community, but to the public safety-minded community at large, if you would stop with your social media BS and just simply say, yeah, I own a gun. I might not be out there stumping for the NRA, but I can at least admit that gun ownership is the amendment that comes after the one that allows me to spew all this crap on my social media.
What was his response?
I mean, honestly, he put his head down and was just like, I wish I could.
Oh, coward. So,
oh yeah,
have you?
It was pathetic.
I'd have charged him $20 more.
It was 100.
Good man.
It really does seem when COVID hit, and then right after that, the mostly peaceful protests hit. It seems like that real world, hey, you might be on your own. Hey, there's real danger at your doorstep. It cut right through kind of the rhetoric BS, and people just said, hey, you know what? This is real now. I really have to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And a firearm really is the most effective tool to do that. And people on all over the spectrum, we were getting, inquiries from, yoga instructors and we interviewed a pro-gun vegan a couple of weeks ago. It really has expanded beyond kind of the stereotypical Duck Dynasty, looking people that they try to make us all, seem like we are. Do you think that was a big part of it?
Well, I think that was a massive part of it. Just in the city of Beverly Hills, this is Beverly Hills. Like, this is the palm tree and can and fancy car and shopping. People don't think of 5,000 Antifa on the streets with, California National Guard tanks, with 3 different jurisdictions of law enforcement in our city, as well as our SWAT team and our bomb squad and our K9 units, all out on commercial streets and residential streets, because we've got people saying, eat the rich, burn down their homes, we're going to break in and kill all of you. And they're going, holy crap. It was literally the biggest wake-up call ever in this city, where people were starting to come into the shop going, I just don't need a gun. What do I need if 500 people try and break into my home and burn my house down? So it was such a wake-up call beyond belief that even the politicians had to stop for a second and go, yeah, we're not prepared for this. We cannot come and help you if we have another civil unrest, which everyone believes that is coming. Every single one of my customers has come in and said, gosh, wait until midterms come.
Yeah.
And if the Republicans
you can't wait that
put
long.
the House back. And well, of course not. But this is the conversations that people are having every single day is, we know it's coming back.
Well, here's an idea.
We know civil unrest is
maybe if they stopped making political contributions to groups that fund these groups like Antifa that come into the town and threaten them, and take that political contribution and buy a gun from you, things will be a little bit better off.
So
maybe.
You may have already mentioned this. I had to get up and leave for a second. But with the fact that you do have your gun boutique in Beverly Hills, do you think that's sent a message to the snatch and grab crooks that, we have a gun store in our midst? Maybe the people in these other stores are armed.
I would hope so, but no, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I believe that the smash and grab criminals and the ones that are stealing all the watches and the cars and doing the follow home invasions, they are completely inspired by George Gascon. And they know that no matter what, if they get caught, they're right back on the street. I heard a story from 2 of my Beverly Hills PD friends that they caught 2 guys that pulled a gun on somebody, and they arrested him, sent him downtown, and 3 days later they arrested them for something else, going, how do these guys back out in 72 hours?
I still don't understand how he gets away with that.
It's crazy. So our citizenry are definitely more concerned about that, and I do not believe for a heartbeat that my store has put any fear into these people at all, when their biggest sponsor of George Gascon is basically empowering them to feel, completely like Superman.
Wow. Hey, so have you heard of San Diego County gun owners or Orange County gun owners? Have you heard of our organization before?
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. At some point, I'd really like to come up and talk to you. We're working very hard to launch LA County gun owners, and I got to tell you, it sounds like you may have created a foothold. So maybe you and I can sit down and have a cup of coffee and a sandwich and chat.
No, lunch. They got good food in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can afford it.
Is he staying or going?
Chicken lobsters on me.
What?
Awesome. All right, I'll be in touch, man.
Is he staying or going?
No, he's going. Great interview.
Absolutely, Russell. You hang in there, stay strong, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks, guys.
So you like Shooter with Mark Wahlberg?
Technically.
Have you seen that movie?
Oh, no.
Not yet?
Oh, you haven't seen it? Yes, you have. Mark Wahlberg. You know Mark Wahlberg? He
Yeah.
limps the same way no matter what movie he's in. You'll have to check that out. He does. You got to watch it. He just limps the same way. I don't care where he gets shot. Anyway, hey, folks, this is it. Oh, yeah, I've already done that. That's
Already did that one.
Well, I was so excited about going to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Most companies wants a lot of money for your marketing. Well, the reason why is because they don't have a clear message. So you are wasting money on your website, your social media, your advertising. And if you don't have a clear, easy to understand message, well, guess what? Sage Tree gets it. Since 2005, Sage Tree has been helping companies clarify their message and connect with customers. Connect them or contact them today and learn about the proven systems to help you get better. Return on investment from your marketing dollars. Go to sagetree.com and learn a whole lot more.
So I haven't. You downloaded Red Dawn? Is that what you did?
Yes, I did. I'm so excited.
When are you going to watch?
Probably tomorrow night. Since I'm going to be home.
And you haven't seen it since like the Reagan administration?
Well, I haven't seen it since it came out. Because I went to the theater to watch it.
You saw that in the theater?
Yeah.
I think I was Jackson's age when it came out. So I don't know if Mom let me go to the most violent movie ever made when I was 8 years old.
Yeah. But I literally was just flicking through the stations, and I always go to Turner Classic Movies. It's not a plug, but I just like that station. And it said Red Dawn, and I could not believe it. I almost called you.
Yeah.
So I immediately recorded it. So
we really should. You can rent out these movie theaters.
I know you should have a San Diego County Gun Owners Red Dawn party.
Movie watch screening,
and you come dressed as your favorite actor.
I like that.
I thought you would.
Who, if you're listening, what do you think about that? Would you go to that, Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you never seen Red Dawn, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet. You haven't even seen Mark Wahlberg yet. You like Mark Wahlberg? I like Mark Wahlberg. He's a good guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're listening right now and you want San Diego County Gun Owners to organize a screening for Red Dawn, rent out a movie theater, just have a bunch of, private event, just San Diego County Gun Owners members, let us know. Email us. Tell you if you're watching on YouTube, say something in the comments, and let's see how much support we get.
And we can find a really classic theater, not like the ones down in Parkway Plaza or anything like that.
I'm sad that Landmark Ken Theaters went away.
I know.
Yeah, that was my favorite place. Yeah,
Wouldn't that have been perfect?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my favorite part was there was a seat that's right where the column is, where they're showing the projector, so you can't see a thing, so you have to lean to the right.
And
or
that's
lean
where
to
you
the
would
left.
sit?
No, I just love that seat. I don't know why they would put that there, but it's still an iconic theater anyway.
What about, there's a really iconic theater in Coronado, in downtown Coronado.
That's right.
That'd be
Old school
perfect.
one.
I wonder what they would charge.
A lot more, but that's all right. It's worth it. It's worth it. I've seen
a sponsor.
I saw a movie there.
We can get a sponsor.
That's true. We could. And you can meet Action Jackson.
Yeah.
And his dog.
And his dog, Chase.
Spot.
Yeah.
And his dog, Spot.
It's Chase, not Spot.
It's Jake.
No, Chase.
Oh, Chase. Like the bank.
Oh, my God.
Can I get money out of it?
It is kind of, I like the bank.
I have a card. I just
No.
don't know where. I just don't know where to put it.
He doesn't look like he's got any money on him. He doesn't have any
Yes,
pockets.
he does. He's dressed better than you.
Well, that's not hard.
That's
So let's talk a little bit about gun violence restraining orders. I really wanted to explain to people. I've been getting a lot of questions.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody totally understands.
Why are they bad? And the
and what is it?
Well, the reason it's so confusing for people is the people like John Hemmerling who support them. They only give examples of, like, they'll say, hey, there was this violent criminal, right?
Right.
Who did something, horrible with a gun. And so we issued a gun violence restraining order and took his gun away. And everybody looks at that example and says, what's wrong with that example?
Yeah, that's exactly what you should have done.
So the problem is that's not the problem. You didn't need a gun violence restraining order in order to take a gun away from a violent criminal.
You just take it.
Well, and they have done that for decades. If someone's, a violent criminal and they're broke the law, law enforcement has never had a problem taking firearms away. It's not like that wasn't possible before they invented gun violence restraining orders. Mm-hmm. They invented gun violence restraining orders 3, 4, 5 years ago. And what it does is it lowers the standard for taking a firearm away. So right now you got to be, violent criminals, you're committing a crime, that sort of thing. With a gun violence restraining order, you just have to, accuse somebody. Hey, my soon-to-be ex-husband is, threatening me, or my soon-to-be ex-wife is threatening me, which is a real scenario. My soon-to-be ex-wife, I actually spoke to that woman.
Go straight to him, take his gun.
Yeah, there's no evidence. There's just, his word against hers, and she actually got arrested, spent a night in jail. They took her guns away. She had to get a lawyer. She had to go to court. It was a mess. And so what they're doing is they're using these gun violence restraining orders pretty much as a standard procedure. And the reason they're doing that is they're trying to normalize them. But that was never the intention. The intention was that they were red flag laws. Now, what that means is, you've heard that term, red flag laws? A red flag is, hey, this person is showing, some kind of warning sign. That's what a red flag is. It's a warning sign. So they were trying to figure out, okay, if somebody's, showing some kind of warning sign, how can we prevent them from causing harm on somebody? So it was never intended to use these on criminals because there was no purpose. You could already take guns away from criminals. So what they're doing is they're just using it every time. Every time they want to take a gun away, someone's committed a crime.
It was an easy excuse.
Let's just do it. Yeah, issue it. So now it's become standard practice. So out of 100 instances, 90 of them are going to be violent criminals.
Right.
But they could already take guns away from violent criminals.
So,
but the 10 are, it's like somebody posted a Facebook meme.
So if you belonged to U.S. Law Shield, would that be something that they would cover? Defend
you against? Yes. They would defend. U.S. Law Shield defends against.
That in my world, $10 a month or whatever it is, $10, $11 a month is well worth insurance as a gun owner.
Now let's take a look at that. U.S. Law Shield defends if you've been in some kind of red flag law, they take your guns away.
Right.
U.S. Law Shield does not defend criminals. So if you're a criminal, you go rob a bank with a gun, they're not going to defend you.
Well, I don't care about the criminal. I'm talking about me.
I know, but that's proof positive of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That these red flag laws, the gun violence restraining orders, they're taking guns away from people who haven't committed crimes.
So my feeling is if I feel like I'm a law-abiding citizen tomorrow morning, which I already belong, but I would join. I mean, especially if maybe you're in a relationship that's not going well. I mean, it just is protection.
If you're a gun owner, and especially if you're a CCW holder,
and you don't have that,
you got to have some kind of product. U.S. Law Shield, they're one of our sponsors. They're fantastic.
Price is right.
Price is right. Absolutely.
They helped the guy in Texas at the church.
Yes, they did.
We never heard a peep out of that case. You notice that?
Because they squashed it.
Funny thing,
because they squashed it.
Look what $10 will get you.
So when people people wonder, like, well, gee, why are we so against gun violence restraining orders when every example I've seen given, it's some violent criminal. Yeah, we want to take guns away from violent criminals.
Without a doubt.
They're dangerous. San Diego County Gun Owners represents sane, trained, law-abiding gun owners. But the problem is gun violence restraining orders have lowered the minimum requirements so that they can now take them away from people that haven't committed a crime.
And once that happens,
dangerous.
Getting them back and getting out of that quagmire is even worse.
If you have a gun violence restraining order against you, minimum $5,000-$10,000.
Yeah.
And you got to get an attorney. You got to go to court. Minimum. So
I think I'm going to put that in the commercial.
I thought that's a good idea.
But it's not part of that. I mean, it's just I'm a script writer.
So when we're all fired up here, when people are going, hey, look, you got this guy. He's talking about, John Hammerling. He's talking about, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm a Marine. I'm a Republican. And we go, wait a minute, this guy's anti-gun. He has been feverishly expanding the gun violence restraining order program so that it has become what it was never sold to be. I think it was always intended to be this. But they sold it and said, hey, look, we're just trying to stop, mass shooters. We're just trying to stop people that are, giving us signs, giving us red flags that they're going to go, do something horrible and shoot up a bunch of people. But now it's just turning into standard practice, and people who didn't commit a crime, people are using them. They're weaponizing them and using them against roommates and people they disagree with and that sort of thing.
Wow.
So we can't stand for that. We just can't. We got to go. Wait. We put a bunch of trust in government, and it was a mistake. So we can't allow this to happen, especially somebody who has been such a zealot when it comes to gun violence restraining order. And again, the other two candidates in the race, Dave Myers is against them. He said he described it as political theater.
Dave's running again?
Dave Myers is running again. Kelly Martinez is basically, hey, they should be, I'm paraphrasing, but they should be closely scrutinized, but basically brought up the point that they've kind of turned into this, standard practice tool, So and here you have the Republican in the race who's basically saying, look, we need to expand these all over the place, and they're a good idea. And then on our show says not only they're a good idea, they're good for gun owners. We cannot stand it.
No.
So I wanted to clarify that on gun violence.
I'm glad you did, because it was.
It's complicated. It's not.
It is.
It's not easy.
And that's where this, coming up with U.S. Law Shield, kind of popped into my head. I'm thinking, well, shoot, here's one way to keep a few dollars in your pocket.
That's right.
All right. Coming up next, I don't know. You know?
Yeah, Mark Meuser.
Mark Meuser?
Yeah, he's filing a lawsuit up in San Jose.
Well, San Jose recently passed laws requiring gun owners to pay a fee and get liability insurance. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be battling that throughout, so I just wanted you folks to know that, just in case you missed it in the first segment. But right now, PRMI Mortgage, primeres.com/Alpine. Are you in the military? Are you looking for help with a VA loan? Or if you're just looking to buy, refi, or maybe you're considering a reverse mortgage, call our local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Call Chris Wiley at 619-722-1303 or just primeres.com/Alpine.
So our next guest we've spoken to before. You remember he's running for U.S. Senate in California, Dave, and he was the guy that came back and we had him on to talk about the the voter integrity. Great guy, great interview. Mark Meuser, he's a candidate for U.S. Senate, and he's also an attorney who is going to sue the pants off of San Jose and their new anti-gun, anti-privacy tax hike debacle of public policy. So we wanted to have Mark on the show to talk about it. Mark, how you doing, man?
He's not there.
He's not on. I'm trying to reach him. Sorry.
He's not there. He's out canvassing.
Oh, all right.
He's trying to generate more votes.
I thought he was there.
No, you just didn't hear. You didn't have your cans on.
Oh, my apologies. All right, well.
So, but
so here's what
it's going to take. That's what it's going to take, guys like him.
It is. What the most offensive thing about this whole policy is that
it's
not so much. I mean, the insurance is bad. You have to buy the private insurance, the liability insurance from a homeowner's insurance company, something like that.
Are they going to sell that?
No, it's they want to. They're having private industry sell it, but you have to have it, and it's kind of weird. You have to have it, but there doesn't appear to be any consequence to not having it.
And what's your deductible?
Well, it depends on the private company.
And what private company in their right mind would sell this?
It's liability insurance. It exists.
I know it exists. I mean, I carry $1 million when I drive cars around. I mean, I carry that just to protect myself.
Yeah.
But
so this would just basically, they'd have to make sure that it covers, firearms and, that sort of thing.
If you were an insurance company, would this be something you couldn't wait to sell?
Well, I don't know. Oh, here we go.
We'll ask Mark.
Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm doing awesome. How you doing?
Good.
I told him you were out canvassing.
That's pretty close to what I was doing.
Well, it's good to have you back on.
Congratulations on your lawsuit. What do you think? What was the catalyst?
Well, I mean, let's go back and review the timeline. It started back in August when the city of San Jose first proposed this crazy, wacky, mandatory insurance provision and fees and all that kind of stuff. And they told the city attorney, go draft us an ordinance. And my client had to send a very nasty demand letter saying, if you do this, this is unconstitutional. Here's all the reasons why it's unconstitutional. And if you do this, we will sue you. Well, last week we heard through the grapevine that they were actually going to do it this Tuesday. So on Tuesday, the City Council of San Jose passed an ordinance where they are mandating gun owners buy insurance that basically is there to help the city recover its costs for crimes committed by people who were breaking the law. But, that's just the city of San Jose, there. But in addition to that, they also mandate that all gun owners pay a fee, not to the city of San Jose to recover costs of administrating this new ordinance, but to a nonprofit that's basically going to go out there and promote anti-gun speech.
Yeah.
And so, we knew that we saw that this was coming, and so they passed this on Thursday night, and within an hour of them passing it, we had a lawsuit on file. We wanted to make a very clear statement to them that, you know what, we're not going to, this is too far. I mean, this violates First Amendment speech called, unions can't compel speech, the Bar Association can't compel speech, and the city of San Jose can't compel gun owners to promote nonprofits that are going to give speech that's contrary to their beliefs. It violates the Second Amendment. And it doesn't just violate the Second Amendment. What it does is it puts a tax on a fundamental constitutional right. And that particular issue has been taken up by the United States Supreme Court back in the 70s, where the state of Minnesota put a tax that was only applicable on newspapers. And the Supreme Court said, when you are targeting a First Amendment activity, it is going to be unconstitutional. It's one thing to have a sales tax that everybody has to pay, but when you have a tax directed at a group of people exercising a constitutional right, it is unconstitutional. And so,
Mark, let me ask you: is it a fair comparison? Is it an accurate comparison to compare that tax to a poll tax?
I've had many people say that. I mean, that ultimately why a poll tax got struck down was because it was a tax upon a fundamental right of voters.
Yeah.
So whether it's taxing voters on their ability to vote, whether it's taxing newspapers, whether it's taxing gun owners, it doesn't matter when the tax is directed at those people exercising constitutional rights. The Supreme Court jurisprudence is long that is not going to be upheld.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a little bit of money. Now, it sounds like, well, gee, $25, that's not going to break the bank to anybody. But there are 55,000 gun owners in San Jose, nearest count, most accurate count that people can tell. 55,000 times 25, that's what is that, like $1.3 million they're looking to fund. $1.3 million.
And it goes to a nonprofit, and I guarantee you those nonprofits are going to find ways to funnel that money back into the campaigns of the candidates who are directing which nonprofit gets that thing.
Plus, I don't know unless they were talking about gun safety, I don't know anybody that's truly teaching gun safety except for, organizations like NRA and CRPA and our organization. And
I guarantee you, your organizations aren't going to be getting
exactly. Their version of gun safety is going to be, the anti-gun groups who just want, get rid of your guns. It's not true gun safety. It's not, learning how to properly use one so that you know how to, you know what I mean? It's very, very partisan. It's very, very political. There's no sincerity in this. This all just seems to be a harassment campaign because they don't like gun owners.
No, it's not that they don't like gun owners. They don't like the Constitution of the United States of America. The Second Amendment is really what separates the United States of America from almost every other democracy or republic. And I understand the United States of America is a constitutional republic, but we have that Constitution protects our rights of gun, which is supposed to help us in keeping tyrants honest. Let's put it that way.
Right. So if this is more than if you guys have been involved in similar cases, or this seems like it's right up your alley. But is there any other? This is a fairly new program. There's not really a precedent that's been set that's terribly similar as far as taxing gun ownership. You guys it's going to be pretty groundbreaking, right?
This is, the left is always constantly trying to push the envelope. This is new, the concept of taxing gun owners, requiring them to own insurance. It's just a crazy world of leftist ideology. And ultimately what they're trying to do is destroy fundamental constitutional rights. Because if they can destroy the Constitution, then they get to move to their totalitarian, socialistic, communistic form of government.
They're going every single way to try to get rid of this Constitution. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, Guy, it was really great having you on. I'll let you get back out, start canvassing, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, thanks for having me.
The editor of our favorite magazine, Iain Harrison, is next. Actually, our favorite magazine is RECOIL.
I know.
It sounds like... Let me play. The editor of RECOIL, our favorite magazine, Iain Harrison, is next.
Well, but before we do that with our multitasking Mike, American Shooters is the newest gun shop in San Diego and Gun Owners Radio's newest show sponsor. If you're looking for a great gun shop for any of your firearm needs, go visit American Shooters. Tell Ernie you heard about them on Gun Owners Radio. They have a great selection of new and used and consigned firearms. Visit American Shooters at 1464 Graves Avenue, off the Bradley exit in El Cajon.
I figure if we're talking to the editor of a magazine, Iain, I better get that right,
Well, there goes your subscription.
Well, I think you're doing a great job so far.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't want any of my modifiers to be dangling. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, I just got back from an overnight camping trip in the desert where I was shooting 80-year-old guns out of 500 yards and drinking marvelous Scotch whiskey. So, pretty good weekend all in.
Wow. So did you pack it in and pack it out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's my first hour of radio. It's an off-road show, and I just want to make sure because we have cleanups. Oh, my Lord, you would not believe the trash we take out of the desert.
Good for you guys. Yeah, I always make a point of making sure that it's in better shape than when I leave and when I arrive.
I liked you before. I like you more now.
What was the coolest gun you guys shot?
I shot. Let's see. I shot my Lee Enfield No. 4 Mark 1, which was made in 1941.
Wow, that's awesome.
That was kind of cool. Yeah.
Next time you go, you got to take Mike because he has a Jeep.
I got a Jeep. I like whiskey. I like guns.
What more could you ask for?
Why didn't my phone ring last week?
It's lifted. It's lifted.
That's cool. That sounds. And you were at SHOT too, right? Didn't you go to SHOT Show?
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah. Well, it's just a little over a week ago since SHOT Show wrapped up.
How was it?
SHOT Show was kind of like the curate's egg, if you know what I mean. It was good in parts, and I know it all depends on what perspective you're coming at it from. If you were one of the vendors and one of the exhibitors there, I'm pretty sure that guys are very noticing some of the reduced traffic. But I think foot traffic was down to about 35 to 40% of what it was in years past.
Was that, you think, is that COVID related, or what do you think's happening?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of COVID and the Great Reset, in that people are looking at their return on investment.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Being a SHOT Show is a huge chunk of change. And I think a lot of companies went, I'm probably not going to get so many people there. And it's a big commitment. And therefore, I think they started backing out very early on. For example, 6 Hour pulled out 3 months before the event itself. And as a consequence, from somebody who's just there as an attendee, the experience is pretty good. You weren't jostling in the aisles. You actually got to spend some actual quality time with people in the booths. You weren't running from meeting to meeting. And although some of the bigger players weren't there, you got to spend time with some of the smaller guys who, some of which had some innovative products out there.
Yeah, our producer Rich is giving me a thumbs up. He said he had a great time. He said it was really
Good.
He also said that foot traffic was way down, apparently, but that it maybe allowed for better conversations, so people weren't so slammed. What was the goal for RECOIL? For you visiting as a representative of RECOIL, what was your main goal for going to a SHOT Show?
The main goal is always to seek out the newest and the most innovative and the coolest stuff. And some of the product launches, they kind of go below the radar because if you're not having the multi-million-dollar marketing budget, and if you're not a 6 Hour, if you're not a Beretta, if you're not a Smith & Wesson, then a lot of your product announcements might get drowned out in the hubbub. Whereas if we can go in there and look in individual booths and some of the smaller, I love going in the basement down in SHOT Show, and I'm sure you guys love it also. But when you go down there and you find this guy who's been maybe working on something in his garage for 5 years and is finally ready to show it to the public, and you go, yeah, that's kind of cool, man. And in other instances, it's kind of, what the hell were you thinking? That's just kind of cool, man. It's one of those things where where everybody gets together in the gun industry at one time, at one place, and you get to spend time with people who are the same amount of passion as you do.
How now? Springfield, don't they have like a new bullpup? Were you able to take a look at that?
Yeah, they do. I actually have it in the truck with me right now.
Wow.
And
I was gonna say, how do you like it? Apparently, you like it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I slung a bullpup for about a decade in the service of Her Majesty's government, and so I'm fairly tuned up to that pitfalls, shortcomings, and the benefits of having a shrunken gun like that.
What was that one? Was that a Steyr AUG? Is that what you used?
No. I had the bastard stepchild of everybody else's second or third generation 5.56 platforms. I had the L85. So I got to experience a lot of the bad points.
What's a bad point? So for a bullpup design, because they're getting real popular, right? The Tavor, and then even like KSG's got their shotgun that's a bullpup. Springfield's got this new one. So without being model specific, in general, what did you find in your experience as a disadvantage of using a bullpup design?
The majority of bullpups won't allow you to shoot them off the left shoulder. So if you're trying to break cover and engage your target around the left-handed cover as a right-handed shooter, about 60-75% of the bullpups won't allow you to do that. Certainly in the case of the SA-80, if you try to shoot off the left shoulder, then you end up spitting approximately half of your teeth out because it has a reciprocating charging handle on the right-hand side, and it's just a nightmare to do that. Other guns, some of the other bullpups out there will allow you to. The Springfield Hellion does allow you to shoot it off the left shoulder without modification, so that's a big plus. And as far as other generic advantages of shooting bullpups, you get a 16-inch barrel or greater in the same amount of size overall as a 10.3-inch SBR. So you're not giving up any ballistic advantage out of the gun, and you end up with a very short, compact package, which is great, for example, if you're working around vehicles.
Have you put the Springfield through its pace? I don't want to steal any thunder. I'm sure you guys are going to do a great review, but have you put it through its paces yet?
Yeah, I've actually beat the snot out of it, and I started off. I actually managed to shoot it over in Croatia in its full auto setup with the Croatian SF.
Yeah,
and those guys like it, and they've had it in service now for about 7-8 years. And so that's one of the things I always do is, wherever possible, is to talk to end users who actually used it in real world situations, and those guys really like it, and there's been really no complaints.
Well, that's why your point about a bullpup in general. That's why it's interesting. Usually people, there's this. Well, it's shorter and you can take corners. Some of the obvious reasons that bullpups are good. But you got to actually use it to know that, hey, you're going to get smacked in the face if you try to use it with your left-handed. That's something. It seems like that's something they're not going to put on the sales sheet. That's something you got to know when you're out in the field doing it.
Yeah, hey, buy this gun. Oh, by the way, make sure your dental plan's up to date.
Yeah, really. So what's coming up for RECOIL? You guys got anybody? What's your latest issue, or you got any interesting interviews or features or anything?
Yeah, well, actually, we have that Springfield Hellion bullpup on the cover on this issue, which is, it's been a fun gun. It's been definitely a fun gun to review. And then other stuff we're working on, sort of long term. We're doing a lot more in the world of night vision, and we've got a few really cool hunts coming up this year as well. For example, some of us are going to be taking Cessna 170s into the Middle Fork of the Salmon River and hunting elk out of rafts there.
Jeez.
And yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How did that? Tell me about that. How did that happen? How did that transpire?
It was kind of a bet. You know, it's I bet you can't do that. Yeah, I bet you can.
That sounds great. Are you guys all hunters, or is this a first time experience for many of you? Or
no, the majority of us are hunters. It's like the majority of us are all a form of service as well.
Yeah.
And so we try and bring that perspective into stuff that we write about. And you have to be careful when you're hiring guys, and obviously that you do want different perspectives, but there's also a sort of commonality of, okay, you need to be able to live in the field, and you need to be able to shoot to a certain level of confidence. And writing, yeah, we can teach that and we can edit that, but you have to have that basic level of confidence when it comes to firearms.
That's awesome. Okay, so where do if people want we actually, on our website, we give a deal on you don't even have to be a member. We just believe so much in your magazine. We love you guys so much that you get a little bit of a discount if you sign up on our website. But what is the RECOIL website? Where do they find you guys if they want more information and they want to see what RECOIL is all about? RECOILweb.com is where you'll find a lot of our digital content, and certainly both our digital written content and also some of our videos on RECOIL TV, because we have our own video platform because we didn't want to be kowtowing to the likes of YouTube. Yep, we're on that platform too, so you can check us out on RECOIL's platform. Part of what we try to do is build the community, and I got to tell you, RECOIL magazine is the magazine of the gun community. You guys do such a great job, and we're so happy to be to partner with you guys in every way we can, and I really appreciate your time, Ian.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Don't forget to invite him to the desert, or he'll cry like a baby.
February 19 is Arizona's 2A rally. Some of the speakers include friends like John Correa, Chris Chang, Ashley Lubinsky, and Ursula Williams. Dave Ryder is next to talk about the event.
It's not. It's Mike Sullivan. But that's okay.
Yep. You just corrected me. He literally, you should see the look the look on Rich's face right now. He is ready
2 seconds ago.
Smack me. You're thinking about going to the desert. Mike Sullivan is next to talk about the event.
But first, we are so proud to partner with the National Concealed Carry Association as a 10-ring partner. NCCA exists to serve the Second Amendment community by providing a nationwide network of 2A advocates, offer elite self-defense and concealed carry training from the nation's top instructors, and provide rock-bottom prices on the best selection of gear and accessories. Join them today. Members get great prices and free shipping. You can learn a whole lot more by going to nationalconcealedcarryassociation.com. Hey, we got Mike Sullivan on the line.
Mike Sullivan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you this afternoon?
Fantastic. So tell us about the rally.
So the rally is on Saturday, February 19th. It's from 10 to 2. We call it the Second Amendment Rally, Celebrate and Protect the Second Amendment. So we have a big gathering down at the Arizona State Capitol, and it's kind of like an outdoor festive, big open air fair where we have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of great speakers this year, as you guys have mentioned a few. We've got plenty of things for the families to do. There's a kids' Patriot Park with games. We give away free gun locks to the parents. So there's really something for everybody down there. And it's kind of a rally to, one, celebrate our right to keep and bear arms, and two, get people involved in what is a fight to keep that right. And it's ongoing, and it's going to continue.
Now, now you say that, but this is Arizona. Everybody I talk to in California says, "Oh, I'm moving to Arizona because they have gun rights and we don't have gun rights." And I'm going to the land of the free, and nothing bad ever happens in Arizona. I can own any gun I want. You guys are all suckers for staying in California.
Yeah, well, I used to live in California, and we could have said that about California 30 or 40 years ago, and look where we're at. So, it's a challenge here as well. Yes, we do. I think we've been voted at least 5 or 6 years in a row, Guns and Ammo magazine, most gun-friendly state for gun owners. So we do enjoy that freedom, but it's a battle. We have a very close mixture now in both houses of the legislature here. One house is 1 vote, and the other is 2. So that's all it really takes to flip this thing the other way. So we've always got to be on guard over this complete issue.
Interesting. Is there anything? So it's really just Arizona based. It's not necessarily a national thing. It's just hey, us here in Arizona, we gotta be diligent.
Yeah, primarily that's our target audience is for folks in Arizona, but we do pull a few people in from Southern California. We've got some folks that come out from New Mexico. We even got a guy that drives down from Denver every year. So everybody's welcome to come, but primarily what we're going to talk about, and a lot of the speakers that are local will talk about, are going to be Arizona kind of based legislative things that may or may not be going on at this point. But certainly everybody's welcome, and there's lots of things to learn, especially if you're new. As we know, depends on what number you look at. There's between 8 and 15 million new gun owners in the country over the last few years. So I'm sure Arizona has their fair share of those folks, and we invite them out to, join the community.
Is there a particular proposal that you guys are afraid of right now, or is there something that passed last year that you want to reverse?
No, they're always the same ones. There's always, I think the number is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 bills drop every year during our legislative session here, which is mid-January to, late April, early May. And it's the same gun bills that you see everywhere else every single year. They're dropped. The high-capacity magazines, ban the AR-15s, gun licensing schemes, all the same stuff that is passed in a lot of states like California. And those bills drop every single year. And we fight them every single year, and we've been successful doing that, and that's what we need to continue to do.
All the same.
They're never going to stop.
It's all the same stuff that's passed in California that has had no effect on crime. Zero.
It hasn't had any effect anywhere.
Isn't that crazy? Why? Why do they keep doing this stuff? Because it's not about safety and it's not about crime, is it?
Boy, you're asking the wrong guy on that. I couldn't get inside some of these people's heads if you paid me. It's just I don't understand it either. But every year we hear the same old reasons for why they're restricting lawful gun owners. Why lawful gun owners have to be restricted in order to keep everybody safe. It's just absolutely ludicrous.
And just to give everybody an idea, I mean, the last presidential election, you guys went blue.
We did.
So it's a very realistic possibility. And when I say go blue, you voted for Biden, and Biden is an extremist when it comes to being anti-gun. So it's a very real possibility that, really in a general election, the majority of people who live in Arizona decided to vote for a world leader, their own world leader, who is an extremist when it comes to anti-gun policy. So this is not just an exercise in having a good time at the Capitol. You guys really have some hard work ahead of you.
Absolutely, and you're absolutely right. And not only did the vote go to Biden, but we also put Mark Kelly in as our second Democratic senator, which is the first time in over 30 years we've had 2 Democratic gun-controlling senators. And if your audience isn't familiar with Mark Kelly, he's the husband of former state representative Gabby Giffords, who was wounded in a 2011 shooting in Tucson. And they've been on the gun control bandwagon ever since with the Giffords Law Institute. They come up with the craziest laws and issues that are on the books. And this guy is now representing Arizona as a United States Senator.
Yeah, Mark's an extremist and a zealot, and frankly is dangerous to your Second Amendment rights.
He is, and we have an opportunity to take him out this year because he was only voted in for the 2-year term to fill John McCain's vacated seat. So he's up again for election in 2022, and we need to put a Second Amendment supporting, gun owners' rights guy in that seat.
He's an astronaut too.
Well, he's out there, that's for sure.
There you go. Do you guys have a candidate ready to go, or everybody's still looking, or how's that going?
I think there's a few of them out there. I don't know what the last count I saw. There's got to be about a dozen of them in the race. So we'll see when they start really getting, down to the, to the meat and potatoes of it. But there's 3 or 4 really good candidates that we would support, and that are going to support, good gun laws, and not support anything that is going to hurt lawful gun owners.
So, which speaker are you looking forward to hearing the most? Is there somebody on the guest list that you can't wait to hear?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing Stephen Williford.
Williford, yeah.
He is the gentleman that, if you remember, what was it, Springs, Texas, whatever.
Something Springs, Texas, and the
church.
Yeah,
there was a church shooting there a couple of 3 years ago. I guess a couple of dozen people were killed. There were about 50 or 60 in the church at the time. He actually got the attention of the gunmen who came out, and, shots ensued then. And then he actually chased this guy down.
Yeah, he put an end to it with an AR-15.
He did. And his story, if you read his account of that day, his story is just incredible. He's just an average Joe that was trained and knew how to use his weapon and was prepared and did what he had to do to save who knows how many people if he hadn't interrupted this nutcase shooting up that church.
Well, it sounds like a good event. How many people do you expect to show?
So we usually get somewhere between 2,500 and 4,000 people down there. It just depends. We had probably closer to the 4,000 there in 2020. Then last year, still being in the middle of, some COVID issues, we probably had about 2,500. I think people are done with the whole COVID thing now for the most part. They're just tired of it. So I'm expecting to be on the higher side of it for the 2022 event.
So, okay, you're going to have thousands of people there. And by the way, if you want to show, you just show, right? You don't have to register or anything like that. You just show up.
Nope. You can just show up. If you want to take a look at our website, which is 2arallyaz.com.
2arallyaz.com.
Yep, number 2, then rallyaz.com.
I think maybe me and Action Jackson and Dave should go on a road trip to Arizona and go to a 2A rally. What do you think, Jackson?
Absolutely. You guys are more than welcome. We'd love to have you come out. We'll get you in the motorcycle parade.
You ever been in a motorcycle parade, Jackson?
No, but I'd like to be in one.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to be in one?
It's a lot of fun. We usually have somewhere around 100 bikes. We roll in making all the noise on the Harleys, and that's what kicks off the rally. So it's a good time. The kids really love it when the motorcycles show up.
So you're going to have thousands of people there, and that's great. But what's the plan for taking those thousands of people and making sure that they're active going into the election cycle?
So there's a number of things we do. One of our big supporters here is the Arizona Citizens Defense League. So they are the NRA of Arizona or the gun owners of Arizona as far as they're in the fight every single day down at that legislature, pushing for, stopping the bad bills and getting the good bills passed. So we have a big push to get people to sign up because they have an incredible system where you can literally sit on your computer at home in your pajamas and talk to your legislators during the session when these bills are coming up for votes. So it can't get any easier than that. So we're trying to get more and more people recruited to, at a minimum, activate so that they can They can touch their legislators from the comfort of their own home. They don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to go to a meeting. They just show up and do it on their computer.
All right. Hey, clean, lube, protect your guns faster and easier with Seal One. Seal One CLP Plus is also natural, non-toxic, and environmentally friendly. And are you tired of smelling like a gas station after cleaning your gun? Well, try Seal One. Ask for it by name at your local gun shop. And if they don't have it, tell them to get it. Clean your guns faster and better with Seal One.
Seal One's good stuff. I really do like it.
I know you do.
I've come around.
I noticed you're using it as aftershave.
Use it as aftershave. It's pretty good for hair gel, and I also brush my teeth with it, Jackson.
Oh my God.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Would you brush your teeth with it?
With Seal One?
Gross, especially for a gun cleaner.
You don't think so? I
I'm
thought for
just
sure
saying.
you would.
Sometimes I put it on toast, too.
Yeah, with avocado.
A little avocado and some Seal One.
Gross.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know
everybody likes avocado. You don't like avocado toast
Yeah,
with Seal One?
Yeah, what's wrong with avocado?
Well, technically, I've never tried it, but I think I would like it.
No, you would love it. We just know you would.
Still, got to have an open mind. All right, our segment here is, there you go. There's a sample right there of Seal One.
There you go.
Yeah, you put it on your avocado toast.
See what you think.
So, or brush your teeth with it, whatever.
Yeah. Or put it in your hair.
Yeah, with your new lightning bolts.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Okay, our most popular and favorite segment is Stump My Nephew. My nephew Sam is extremely good at gun trivia, and we discovered that a few years ago. He's now at the ripe old age of 22 and has an extremely winning record. We always try to stump him. If you write in and we use your question, we'll give you a hat or a shirt. If you stump my nephew, we'll have a very special prize for you that we haven't determined yet. So, because we're not doing the front side memberships anymore,
you're all gross.
You get assigned. You'll get a free. Here's what you get. You'll get a free ticket, 2 tickets to Gun Prom on June 18th. You'll get a signed picture of Action Jackson and Chase. What do you think of that? Yeah, there you go with the finger guns. I like it. And you'll get to have a free Denny's spaghetti dinner with yours truly, Michael A. Schwartz. Now that's a special package.
And he'll buy.
I'll buy.
He'll buy.
That's a special package right there. I got to tell you. All right. So Sam, you there?
Yeah. How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I forget if we asked you. Do you? No, we did. We asked you last week. You're a Hoppies guy. You haven't used the Seal One yet, have you?
No, I haven't used the Seal One yet.
All right, we're gonna send you.
We'll send you some.
We're gonna send you some Seal One. Have you use it. See what you think. I think you'll like it. I
use Break Free CLP on handguns, but I'll have to give this Seal One stuff a try.
I got to tell you, especially the Break. I think it's way better than Break Free. I think you're really, really gonna like it way better. And it smells better.
I was gonna say, how's the smell?
Yeah, Break Free smells terrible, especially when it's burning off. That's part of why I don't use it on long guns.
Dude, I got to tell you. So
you might like this stuff. Then.
Dwight from Seal One, he'll probably, I don't know, he'll probably smack me when he sees me next when I say this. But I scrub the heck out of my Glock with the Seal One, and then I run it under scalding hot water.
Can you believe that?
And it comes out so clean. I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to do it, but man, it works. If it works, it works. Right, Jackson?
Jackson's not going to believe
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks
I don't see why not.
You don't see why not. Thanks for the backup on that. All right, Jackson's got your question. Go for it. Let her rip.
Tony from Santa Monica asks, what is the nickname for the Colt single action army.
Colt single action army. No. And what did you? And before you answer, Sam, what did you think it was, Jackson? You had a theory.
Well, don't tell me what you think it is, because if it's the same as what I say it is, then it'll be a little less.
You're right.
impressive.
All right, roll. Go ahead. But before we tell you whether it's right, we're going to get Jackson. He had a good theory. I liked it. Go ahead.
Okay. Who was it who wrote in again? What was his name?
Tony from Santa Monica.
Tony from Santa Monica. Thanks very much for writing in, Tony. Now, as far as I'm aware, the most popular nickname for the Colt Single Action Army was the Colt Peacemaker. and it was one of the most popular revolvers they made. It almost single-handedly propelled the company to great success and renown.
Nice. All right. And what was your theory? You had a good theory, well thought out theory.
I thought it was saw because sometimes the C makes the S sound, and the S is right next to the C, and you got two A's.
I got to tell you, it's. I thought it was that's solid logic. Unfortunately, that's not right, Jackson. But that's okay. I still really like it. The Peacemaker is absolutely correct. You got it right, Sam. One of the most famous revolvers of the American Wild West, this firearm was also known as the Colt 45 or the Peacemaker. The revolver had no controversial safety. The revolver had no conventional safety, so in theory, a round could be discharged if the hammer was to receive a hard blow. As a precaution, one chamber was often left empty while the revolver was being carried in order to avoid an accidental discharge. Did you know that, Sam? I learned that just a couple years ago. Did you know that about the empty chamber?
Yeah, you'll hear some old timers still talk about doing that with revolvers, especially with older revolvers that have a firing pin built into the hammer instead of a more modern design. But a lot of revolvers, well, almost all the revolvers you see these days have some kind of a half cock position.
Yeah.
So if you're really, really concerned about carrying on a loaded chamber, then you can just drop the hammer to half cock, or rather you can cock it to half cock and you're perfectly safe. Or you can carry a semi-auto.
I actually have a Colt Peacemaker. It was manufactured. It's a commemorative edition that was manufactured, I think, in like 1990. And it has they by that time had implemented a half cock position, so that basically, so if I get this right, the hammer isn't sitting on the actual cartridge. So when you're riding your horse and it starts bouncing around, it won't just go off and give you another hole in your leg there, right? Is that the idea?
Exactly. That's what the half cock is for.
So it sits off the bullet about half a millimeter or something like that, maybe a little bit more than that, and makes it to where it's not actually connected to the cartridge, right?
Right.
Have you shot a Peacemaker?
I have not shot a Peacemaker. I'm familiar with the manual of arms. In fact, if any of you out there listening have a Ruger Wrangler or a Heritage Rough Rider, you have something which very closely simulates a Colt single action army, just a lot smaller. Those have the exact same mechanics and control scheme, but I have not shot a Colt single action army.
Well, you got to come out to San Diego because your uncle happens to own one. You go to the range and you can shoot a Peacemaker. How cool would that be?
That would be pretty cool.
Although, if you wait too long, it's going to be a pacemaker. Hey! Jackson liked that joke. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate that, buddy. Hey, did you get what I sent you? Are we allowed to talk about this? Did you get what I sent you in the mail?
I did.
And you want to talk about it? You want to chat about it or another time?
No.
Another time.
Another time. All right. So be prepared to chat about it. I really want you to kind of talk about it, but maybe not next week, but at some point. I want you to give a little review and chat a little bit about it because it's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I've got to take a trip to the range this upcoming week, and then we can talk.
All right. Excellent. Anything else exciting going on, man?
No, nothing exciting is going on. The supply situation is improving, at least on this side of the country. I don't know how things are over there, but things are just sort of gradually looking better in terms of the availability of firearms and ammunition.
Good. Excellent. All right, man. Good job. Got it right. Yet another victory under your belt. I don't have to have spaghetti dinner with anybody. Jackson doesn't have to sign a headshot, so we're all good to go. Thanks, man.
Well, I'm glad to save you a plate of Denny's spaghetti, and as always, thanks very much for having me on, and good night, everyone.
All right, buddy. Take care.
See you next week. All right, so why don't we do a real quick You Don't Know Jack, son.
You don't know Jack, son.
What do you think about that? You like that?
Yeah. I always keep forgetting the last part.
You like that last part? Yeah.
Well, don't feel bad. He keeps forgetting it, too.
I was on a holiday break for 5 weeks, so no, I'm kidding. I just couldn't.
Well, because that's your name. Because the actual it was the saying was you don't know Jack, but you're Jackson, right? So
yeah.
And we don't really know you that well. We want to get to know you better. So did you go shooting this week?
Not yet, but this coming Wednesday I will.
Yeah? What are you looking forward to most?
Training with Thomas.
Yeah, he's a good trainer, huh?
Really?
Yeah. Is there anything in particular? Now, do you pull from your holster before you shoot, or do you know what I mean? Do you actually pull your gun from your holster and then shoot?
That's how I usually do it with like my 9mm 22.
Do a quick draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, spin it a couple times. Shoot over your hip.
Are you pretty fast and accurate?
Yeah, did you see you just did it? And you missed it.
I missed it.
You missed it. Show him again.
Oh, that was great.
Yep, there it is. See, did it again. Kid's quick. Kid is quick.
So are you better at speed or accuracy? Which one are you better at? You go real fast or you go real accurate?
Just say both.
I'd say 50-50, both.
See?
Yeah, you got to work on both. You don't want to miss really, really fast, right? You want to.
No.
You don't ever miss, do you?
Hardly.
Yeah. As long as you keep your eyes open. Right?
Well, I figured you go really, really fast. You got the lightning bolts on the side of your head.
Think you can outshoot him? You think you can outshoot Mike?
Maybe.
I'll bet you could.
I bet he'll shoot over the target.
Guns kind of scare me, so.
Yeah, they scare him.
He's not all that good at it.
Guns are afraid of him.
All right, well, awesome. We'll have fun shooting this week, and great job on asking the question.
Yeah,
and you're a wonderful co-host, my friend.
And I expect you to have lightning bolts in your hair when you come back.
Done. Done.
He'll hook you up. He knows how to do them.
I know.
Hey, folks, subscribe to our show on YouTube, and when you watch a video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. And please support all our great sponsors: San Diego County Gun Owners, U.S. Law Shield, the Dillon Law Group, PRMI Mortgage, Scott Vincent at Coldwell Banker Royalty Realty, Sage Street Web Development, National Concealed Carry Association, Seal One, and American Shooters in El Cajon. Thanks to Joe Germisi, Michael Schwartz, Sam the Gunman, Action Jackson, and Wild Man Brendan Thomas right here. Oh, and by the way, Bob Siegel's in the house. You don't want to touch that dial. This is Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.